106.9 FM. Broadcasting live from the ESPN Radio Winchester studios, diving headfirst into Florida's finest brand of nonsense. It's time for What the Florida Friday on Franklin County's favorite morning show, The Starting Lineup, fueled by Loco Coffee. And now for your hosts, Joe Abraham and Chewy.
Turning my music down already. Man, I was getting hype over here.
Oh, yeah?
I am so jacked right now. I just found a new way to intake pre-workout.
Oh, God.
Welcome into the starting lineup. This is ESPN Radio Winchester. I am Joe Abraham along with Chewy.
Brett Crabtree already in the chat.
Good job, Brett. Okay, get this. You want to start the show off on the right note. Chewy, my eyes are itchy.
Oh, okay.
My eyes are itchy. You want to know why my eyes are itchy?
I don't know, but you look wired.
I am through it right now. I'm through the roof. So I went over to the kitchen as I normally do. I was going through my pre-workout, pre-show routine. Okay? Mm-hmm. And I go into the kitchen and I grab my bottle of water and I get my pre-workout in my cup. And I got my pre-workout case thing, and I'm like, oh, let me grab a water for Chewy as well. And I'm like, how am I going to carry all this back to my desk? So I'm like, oh, I got. I'll put the cup in my mouth like this, and I'm going to carry it back. But I hadn't put the water in the pre-workout yet, so the pre-workout was still just the dust in the cup.
So you're just sitting there inhaling.
So I'm walking back over to the studio. And I breathe out of my nose, and it shoots pre-workout up into my eyes.
Oh, so it's like directly to the bloodstream.
Yeah! But that's why my eyes are red, guys.
Not for any other reason.
Not for any... Are they red? I don't even know.
No,
not that you could tell.
Yeah, you look fine.
Oh, man. That's too much.
It's too much at once.
Oh,
yeah?
Man. Anyway. Welcome into a What the Florida Friday here on the starting lineup. I am Joe Abraham, along with Chubert. The Wookiee is in the pen, ready to rock and roll for a good show. Good Friday today, August 14th. Chubert, I heard you doing the weather just moments ago. What's the weather going to be like today?
103-degree heat index value today.
Holy Snopes.
With a 40% chance of showers and thunderstorms across the county. So it's going to be super hot and beyond humid. And I say it on Swap and Shop a lot. I don't say it on the morning show. Hey, if you've got some like loved ones who may not, pay attention to that kind of thing, or some elderly folks, or, call them. Make sure everything's on the up and up.
It's a global warming Friday here on the starting lineup.
You called it Good Friday a second ago.
Yeah, it is a good Friday.
Brett Crabtree says that it's game day today as well.
It's supposed to be. I don't know if it's gonna be at that. I mean, that might code black the game tonight.
Yeah, I might put a damper on it.
Goodness gracious. Okay, so yes, tonight is the night. It's supposed to be anyway. Franklin County High School is the where you want to be. And the when is 7 o'clock tonight as the Rebels take on the Huntland Hornets in their final preseason dress rehearsal, Schubert. The season is supposed to get started next Friday. And this is what I've said this multiple times throughout the last few weeks, but this is what I'm talking about. It is too hot to be playing football right now.
It's excessive.
I am just saying, if it is like this where we can't, like they can't even practice, what are we doing? And I know it goes into basketball season, the later it goes and all these things, but guys, there's no reason why the first game of football season for the middle school needed to start in July. What are we doing? Our seasons are going to be over before, like literally the middle school season is going to be over before a lot of the rest of the country is in like week 4.
Mm.
There's no reason to have it start this early, in my mind. Maybe I'm wrong. Now, speaking of things that are relevant when it comes to the middle school stuff, Chewy, you know me, I can never stay out of the middle of a controversy.
Okay.
So I have interjected myself into this. You know how the other day we were talking about the North-South thing?
Mm-hmm.
The game?
Mm-hmm.
I've interjected myself into this situation.
Oh, okay. Sure.
It is my mission to provide the people. I'm like the guy, what is it, the gladiator games, like back in the day.
Okay. You're the
like Rome.
You're the usher?
I'm not the usher. I don't run the eye. I'm not like the guy who tells you where to sit.
Yeah.
No, who's the guy that was over the game? Who's like, give the people what they want.
The emperor?
That guy. You said it, not me. So I'm like that guy.
Okay.
No, I have. I'm working on this.
Okay.
We're gonna make this happen. Not me particularly, but I'm gonna take.
You're going to take responsibility.
I'm going to take the credit.
Yeah.
No, I've reached out to both schools. I've talked to at least one of the coaches. I got to talk to the other one. But I've talked to people, talked to folks at the schools. I have heard here's the latest. They're working on it.
Hey, you see? There we go.
So it's not dead yet. And
Brett Crabtree called you Lord Farquaad, maybe. About the same height.
Lords be lordin', haters be hate. Fife, go hang out at your fife or whatever. What do they call those little things that?
Some of you may die. That's.
Some of you may die. Speaking of, you know the hawk that we have.
Yeah.
Speaking of majestic things,
I saw
majestic
it eat a crow
beings.
yesterday.
You know, I thought that it was killing crows.
Yeah.
So there's all these crows that have been hanging out. My brother was cutting the grass, and he goes, "Have you been like killing crows out here?" Because there was 2 or 3 crows just dead in the grass out there. And I have named the hawk.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
What would you name it?
it's a majestic being. And so I named it after a majestic football player,
Okay.
Tua Tagovailoa.
Mm.
So his name is Tua the Hawk.
Tua the Hawk. I like it. He's loud too. He don't like it when you walk across the yard in the
I'm
middle of the
going to
day.
wait for you to get the joke.
Tua Tagovailoa, the Hawk.
Don't think as much about Tua Tagovailoa.
Is it because he's getting traded to somewhere else? He's still in Miami
Tua
Dolphins?
the Hawk. Tua the Hawk.
Oh, Hawk. Okay, that's really funny. That actually is really funny.
I thought it was funny.
Yeah, that's actually pretty decent.
Anyway, okay, so today on the show, we got a lot of stuff to get into. I believe Sammy D's going to be in hour number 2.
All right.
That'll be nice.
Yeah.
But when we get back in just a few minutes, I have to recap yesterday's middle school football game. Not for the score itself. I can give you what happened in the game right off the bat. North lost 42-6.
Mm-hmm.
It was not a great performance. It started out, was a close game early on, but the speed and athleticism, some of the things that Fayetteville was able to do yesterday, our guys just weren't able to really keep up with them on the outside. They were big up front, controlled the line of scrimmage. It was a rough night all the way around for North, which happens. Sometimes you come out there, you just outmatched, outplayed. Now, that being said, To me, that's not the story. That's not the lesson from last night. The result of the game is what it is. But to me, there were two separate circumstances that I needed to address. One being culture and that which Fayetteville has built or is building. I'm going to talk about that. And the other is really more towards our parents. There was something that happened after the game, and it surprised me. I suppose it shouldn't have, but it surprised me in not a positive way. And I'm going to talk about that as well, because we have a responsibility to this young men and to these young men. And I've talked about this before, but I will talk about it till I'm blue in the face. These guys are playing sports for a reason. And the lessons that they are learning on the field and from the coaches are so very important. But if as a parent, you do not allow them to learn these lessons, or worse yet, counter the lessons, undermine the lessons that are there that can be learned, especially on a night where your team gets beat up and down the field 42-6. Listen, the fact of the matter is that we as a school, North as a school, was outmatched, outperformed. And that's not me being mean. I'm not being mean to the kids. I'm not being mean to the coaches. I'm not being mean to North Middle. They know it. I know it. We all saw it. Everybody that was there knows it. That's the facts. And the only way that you can get better is by looking in the mirror and taking accountability, being honest with yourself. Last night, they weren't good enough. And that's okay. That's okay. You don't win the Super Bowl in week 3 of the season. And this is about player development anyway at the middle school level, not about winning some plastic trophy. So when we come back, I'm going to talk about these two things. You know, I love to get on my soapbox. I'm going to stack them one right on top of the other today. Like I said, it is a What the Florida Friday. We're going to spend hour number 1 allowing me to be me. We're going to spend hour number 2 having some fun. It is ESPN Radio 1340 1069 WCDT Winchester.
Looking for your next great round of golf? Head to the Bear Trace at Tim's Ford in Winchester. This spectacular Jack Nicklaus-designed 18-hole course sits along scenic Tim's Ford Lake with rolling fairways, challenging greens, and lake views that highlight the natural beauty of Franklin County. Whether you're planning a weekly foursome, a company outing, or just sneaking around in, Bear Trace offers one of the best public golf experiences in the region. Book your tee time today at tnstateparks.com and play the Bear Trace at Tim's Ford. There are all kinds of guys. Car guys, guitar guys, even those yogi guys. Let's be honest, not all guys are built the same. We're garage guys, and if you're looking to upgrade the curb appeal of your home instantly, we have a variety of options from trusted manufacturers across the industry. So we may not be able to strum you a chord, but we can provide a remodel you can afford. See what I did there? Call Garage Guys today or find them online at garageguys931.com. Garage Guys, built different.
Now, here's your ESPN Radio Winchester weather forecast. Brought to you by our official smile partner, Dr. Garrett Orr and Winchester Family Dentistry.
Today we've got a 20% chance of showers and thunderstorms rolling in the afternoon. Otherwise, mostly sunny, very warm.
94 degrees with a heat index value at 106. Calm winds coming in at around 5 miles per hour. Stay indoors, stay cool, and stay tuned to ESPN Radio Winchester.
At ESPN Radio Winchester, we're proud to welcome Winchester Family Dentistry and Dr. Garrett Orr as our official smile partner. From routine cleanings and family dental care to helping you feel confident about your smile, Winchester Family Dentistry is committed to caring for patients with comfort, professionalism, and a hometown touch. Whether you're due for a checkup or looking for a dental team you can trust, call Dr. Garrett Orr and Winchester Family Dentistry, proud smile partner of ESPN Radio Winchester.
Joe had to mix up some more pre-workout, but he's ready to go another round. Back to the starting lineup. This is ESPN Radio Winchester.
All right, back here on the starting lineup, ESPN Radio, 1340, 1069, WCDT, Winchester, Joe Abraham, and Chewy. Join the show today. You can text the show, 931-305-5611. I think AC's trying to call in.
No, I didn't see it.
Oh, not today, AC. Not today. You can also jump in on the FMO Facebook feed. Head on over to Facebook.com/ESPN Winchester. I've got to get into this. These next two it may go longer. I don't know. Schubert,
Yeah.
we talk about culture. We talk about building something that matters, that positively impacts our community in more ways than just wins and losses. Now, we are very, very determined to get some wins here in Franklin County. But last night, Fayetteville lost 42-6. And so, again, I want to go back and I want to start there. Accountability starts with telling the truth to yourself, right? I mentioned this in segment number 1. Fayetteville was faster. They were extremely athletic. They made more plays. We, North, got outplayed, particularly as the game continued to wear on. Fayetteville's speed began to take over. North did some things well, and despite the speed disadvantage, North was the more physical team out in space. Some of the hits that they put on those boys from Fayetteville, I'm still feeling this morning. And there were several times where North just absolutely laid the wood to these guys. It's fun to watch at times. They made them feel it, right? But ultimately, Fayetteville was the better team. The scoreboard, the score, the outcome reflects that. My concern is more, let me start with the culture that Fayetteville displayed while winning. And if you're from Fayetteville, if you've got people in Fayetteville, and you take offense to this segment, good. You should, because I'm offended by what I saw last night. Personally, what I witnessed was you had young Fayetteville players spending much of the game taunting North's players, swearing at them, stepping on players after tackles, repeatedly trying to provoke reactions, multiple personal fouls and unsportsmanlike penalties. And officials threw some flags, but they never really took control of the atmosphere. And by the end of the night, the entire thing felt like it was one moment away from turning into something much worse. Thankfully, the North coaches and the North players held their composure throughout it, but the looks on some of the players' faces, both during and after the game, was that a little bit of shell shock. A little bit of shell shock. They were surprised at the atmosphere during that game. We talk about constantly on this show, we talk about culture and what football teaches young men. Things like discipline and respect and accountability and mental toughness and teamwork and handling adversity. All of these things, lessons that we talk about that the football field can teach you, but it doesn't teach them automatically. Football is simply the tool. And through the process, it can teach positive lessons. It can also teach terrible, terrible lessons. It depends on the adults operating the tool. If coaches demand discipline, players will learn discipline. If coaches demand respect, then the players are going to learn how to respect. If coaches remain composed, then their players will learn composure. These are things that they can learn. But if coaches tolerate constant taunting and swearing and cheap shots and disrespect, then the players are going to learn that those things are part of competing. Kids learn these things through what we as adults permit. They will push the envelope. And eventually, with adults permitting these things, now turns into that's the culture of your program. Now, you can be demanding without being degrading. I have examples that I could give you, including things that I've seen with my own eyes, where you've got middle school and peewee coaches swearing at their own players at practice. Middle school age and below children. We're talking about 10, 11, 12-year-old boys, 13-year-old boys. And I understand that the game is emotional. I understand having a bad mouth. I have a sometimes, and I've done it on the show, I grew up in and around that culture, and sometimes it gets to me. But I have never sworn at a kid during my time coaching. I can understand raising your voice. And I have coached football. I understand the need to get a kid's attention. I understand the need to create a sense of urgency. And sometimes a player needs to understand that what they did is unacceptable. I understand those things. Coach Landon Relford had a situation with a player yesterday where he had to address a situation like that. He had a situation where he had to pull a player aside and address something like that. But what I saw from him was that he demanded better without being degrading to that player. He held the child accountable without humiliating him. He was able to coach him, and yes, aggressively, but not by losing control. Not without staying in control. We're telling them, control your emotions. Don't retaliate. Don't lose your composure. Don't say something stupid. Don't get an unsportsmanlike penalty. Okay. Then why would the adult be allowed to behave in a way that we would punish a child for? If a player screams profanity at a coach, the player is probably running at the very least, if not being thrown off the team, having to sit out. But if a coach screams a profanity at a child, it's somehow, some way called motivation. Standards go both directions. Respect goes both ways. And I get it. I know who the boss is. I know that the coach is in charge. But that's one of the reasons why I'm excited about what we're building here at Franklin County. What Coach Reed is doing here in Franklin County is that he is establishing these types of things. Swearing is not acceptable from his players, nor is it acceptable from the coaches either. And that sounds like a small thing, but it's not. He's telling everybody inside the program that we are going to carry ourselves a certain way. And that doesn't mean that Franklin County is soft. Doesn't mean that our coaches whisper corrections and pass around participation awards. In fact, it's the very opposite if you've been out there. They demand these kids to be physical, to perform in an excellent fashion. They hold these players accountable, and they can still tell them through the process that their effort wasn't good enough, the block wasn't good enough, their footwork wasn't proper, they missed an assignment. They can still pull them out of the game. You can still hold them to a standard. The program, the culture, controls the emotions. The emotions do not control the program. And for us here in Franklin County, that's important, because what have we seen in recent years? Everybody knows what happened in Shelbyville. Everybody has seen what happened on the field multiple times after games in recent years. And that's why culture is important. Because it matters. The habits established today are going to become the identity that people associate with Franklin County. And when players walk onto the field with the FC crest on their chest, people should know what that represents. We have lost that at times here. And in fact, it has not become a badge of honor at times here. But it doesn't need to stay that way. It won't. If we want it to be known that we are physical, that we are disciplined, that we are prepared, that we are respectful, that we are accountable, then it can mean those things. It doesn't mean we have to be perfect, emotionless, but we can be under control. And it does not happen because you post those words on a poster or because you have ChatGPT create some sort of motivational graphic and you post it on Facebook. It doesn't happen as easily as just manufacturing it on ChatGPT. It happens every single day. It takes work, and the coaches are responsible for that. Coaches should be thermostats, not thermometers. They don't just tell you the temperature of the team, they set it. That's leadership. And I was disappointed because as good as Fayetteville was athletically and as well as they performed yesterday, I felt like the adults did not do a great job setting that temperature from that side of the field. You do not match the emotional maturity of a 12-year-old boy. You set it. At some point, you communicate to them that is enough. Win the game, play physical, celebrate with your teammates, but do not taunt people. Do not swear at people. Do not step on them after making a tackle. Do not try and manufacture a fight after the game. And the behavior should have been corrected very early in the game, and instead it was not even corrected after the final whistle. Not only was it a part of the game, it was a part of the postgame. It was gross. And winning does not excuse that type of behavior. Fayetteville won the football game decisively. Respect there. They were better last night. Nobody could take that away from them. But being talented does not excuse poor behavior. Being athletic does not excuse poor sportsmanship. And having a 36-point lead does not give you permission to treat the opponent how you choose. And late in the fourth quarter, Landon Relford did what coaches do when the game has been decided. He emptied his bench. He put in the younger guys, tried to get them some experience, tried to get them some playing time, tried to reward them for playing hard in practice. And maybe it wasn't necessarily the most meaningful of snaps, but it was an opportunity for these kids. And Fayetteville runs its starters out on the field with less than a minute to go, and their backs up against the goal line, and starts throwing go routes to try and score, up 36 points with less than a minute to go. Rushing back to the line of scrimmage, using timeouts, and actively trying to score and embarrass North further. To prove what? The game was over. The outcome was not in doubt. We are no longer determining a winner at this point. The coaches at this point are determining what lesson their team is going to learn from this game. Are we going to handle success with maturity, or are we going to, when you have somebody down, keep trying to embarrass them, step on them? That's a cultural decision. Now, I said the other day that it's our job to stop them. South ran into this very thing. I don't believe that players should stop playing. I don't believe that you tell the kid carrying the ball to fall down. I don't think that you ask backups to give half effort because the score is lopsided. Those kids deserve to play too. Run your offense. Execute your assignment. Compete. Sure. But coaches determine which players are in the game and which plays are being called. And there is a difference between allowing young players to compete and leaving your best players, leaving your best athletes on the field, throwing vertical routes against another team's backups with 1 minute remaining and a ball at your own 3-yard line because you want to pad your stats. That's not development. That's a choice that is setting the culture of that program. And then the game ends, and you had Fayetteville players and even adults that seemed to be looking for a confrontation after the game. Instead of good game, shaking hands, getting on it, it felt like, from my vantage point, that you had players still jawing at our players. After a 42-6 victory, what more do you need? You win by 36 points and you still want to pick a fight afterwards? The problem is not a lack of confidence. Seems like insecurity. It seems like a lack of discipline. Real confidence doesn't need constant validation. Real toughness does not require you to scream at somebody that you just beat. So, as we hit the break here, I don't want North using Fayetteville's conduct as an excuse. I don't want our players spending the rest of the week and into next week saying, well, they were mean, they said bad things, they played dirty. Football will introduce you to these things, to people that you don't like, to tactics you don't like, to people who will try to provoke you, environments that make you uncomfortable. That is the definition of football. But the experience can and will make North better if they allow it to. At times, our players looked shell-shocked by Fayetteville's behavior. Not necessarily afraid of contact. North was willing to hit. But mentally, they seemed overwhelmed by the profanity, the taunting, just a general behavior. And that's where North can become tougher. You can't allow somebody else to control your emotions, or they will control you. If the opponents talk, let them talk. If the opponents try to provoke you, get back to the huddle. If they say something nasty, remember the number and block him legally on the next play. Do your job. Don't look at the referee for help. Don't look at your coach for help. Don't retaliate. Don't lose your assignment because they're in your head and somebody hurt your feelings. Play football. The great thing about it is you get the chance to line up on the very next play and hit them right there in the mouth. They showed composure. North showed composure by not allowing the situation to become worse than it was, and that deserves credit. The next step is reaching down and using that as a motivation. Not to get distracted, not to get shocked, not to be intimidated. Just mental toughness. What's the next call? Move on. Do your job. That's the next step. All right. When we come back, I'm not done with last night because there's something that happened after the game within our own circle, the post-game huddle up, that needs to be addressed as well. So we'll do that when we come back on the other side. It is the starting lineup. This is ESPN Radio Winchester.
The starting lineup with Joe and Chewy is presented by Loco in Winchester. Right here in Winchester, Loco is doing things their own way. From locally roasted Loco coffee to a one-of-a-kind shop experience. It's a place that's built for the Franklin County community. So if you haven't stopped by yet, now's the time. Support local. Drink Loco coffee, fueling Franklin County mornings. Roasted right here in Franklin County. And don't forget to tune into the starting lineup, weekdays from 7 to 9.
Stimulant misuse can take many forms. It may involve abusing methamphetamine or prescribed ADHD medication. Both carry real risks when not used safely or under medical supervision. Prevention starts with education and open communication. The Franklin County Prevention Coalition provides tools and local resources to help families make informed decisions. When we stay proactive, we are stronger together, and we are stronger without it. Learn more at fcpctn.org. This project is funded under a grant contract with the Tennessee Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services.
When you're looking for great food, cold drinks, and a fun place to catch the game, make it Jefferson's in Winchester. From wings and burgers to oysters, appetizers, and more. Jefferson's is the perfect spot for lunch, dinner, or just a night out with friends and family. This fall, Jefferson's is also proud to host the Franklin County Coaches Show with Johnny Hand all season long. Good food, local sports, and hometown pride. It's all happening at Jefferson's in Winchester.
It's time for a local news break from the 931 Go News Center.
Franklin County Schools is making a change to the way families manage student meal accounts for this school year. The district is transitioning from My School Bucks to a new online payment system called School Cafe. Families will use the new system to make meal payments, monitor account balances, review purchase history, and set up low balance alerts. Any money remaining in a student's My School Bucks account from the 2025-2026 school year will automatically transfer to the new School Cafe account. Parents can access the service online through the School Cafe website or download the School Cafe Family Hub app for mobile devices. Families who need assistance setting up an account or have questions about the transition are encouraged to contact the Franklin County School Nutrition Department. And as those first day of school pictures continue filling social media feeds, cybersecurity experts are reminding parents to take a closer look at what information they're sharing. Popular back-to-school photos often include signs listing a child's name, age, grade, school, teacher, or other personal details. While those posts are intended to celebrate the start of a new school year, experts warn that combining several pieces of information can potentially give scammers enough data to target a child's identity. Because children typically aren't monitoring their credit identity theft involving a minor can sometimes go undetected for years. Parents should also pay attention to what's visible in the background of photographs. House numbers, street signs, school bus numbers, uniforms, and other details could unintentionally reveal where a child lives or attends school. Families are encouraged to review their social media privacy settings, limit the personal information included in public posts, and remember that even content shared with a limited audience can potentially be saved or shared by someone else. For details on these stories and more, visit 931go.com. Stay informed and stay connected to your community with ESPN Radio Winchester.
This is Daryl from Columbus, previously from the Paul Farmbaum Show.
I check in scissor hands. I'm the wrong guy to ask, but what's the secret to a good haircut?
A good haircut makes you feel confident. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, when you get that haircut, you're going to walk out that barbershop, you're going to look in the mirror, and you're going to be like, yeah, that's it. And you're going to tip the barber.
The Paul Feinbaum Show, weekdays at 3 Eastern on the ESPN app and on the SEC Network.
This segment of the starting lineup is brought to you by the Furniture Merchandise Outlet in Tullahoma. Tune into the starting lineup with the FMO Facebook feed every weekday. Now, back to Joe and Chewy.
Back here on the starting lineup, ESPN Radio, 1340, 1069 WCDT Winchester. I am Joe Abraham.
Brett Crabtree jumped in saying he's this feels like almost a Where's the Beef Wednesday.
Yeah, a little bit.
Miss Stacy also jumped in. Good morning, Miss Stacy. She was also disappointed at their behavior.
General behavior. Yeah. So here's the thing, too. And I less of a, I don't want to be overly critical of the young players, the athletes at Fayetteville, because I don't necessarily think it's their fault, right? Like, we as adults, they learn from us. We set the standard. They respond to the standard that we set. So I want to start by saying that. And the other thing I want to say is that it's more of a, and two, this isn't because they beat us. I'm not frustrated that they beat us. We've lost tons of games over the last couple of years. As a county, it's not the thing. This is a lesson that I felt like I needed to voice my opinion on this, because in today's day and age, where we're at as a society, I feel like it gets lost. The line between adult and child has become blurred. It's
from
like
a maturity standpoint.
Yeah, it's like we're not the level of like respect and things like that. If I said some of the things, and I'm responsible for this too, if I said some of the things to my parents that my kids have said to me, and take it even a step further, if my parents said some of the things to theirs that I had said to them, I mean, think about that, right? Like, my dad would have taken my head off, And I don't think that was a level of abuse. I think that was a level of respect that was being taught.
Well, it's like you said, they're setting the standard. It's like, hey, this is when that's the ultimate way to say this is unacceptable.
Right. Well, and like Coach Reed's refusal here to tolerate swearing from the players and coaches may sound insignificant, right, from somebody on the outside looking in, but it's not. What it tells people within the program is that we're going to control ourselves. We're going to respect the game. We're going to respect one another. We're going to respect other people, something bigger than ourselves. And that's what building a program, in my mind, looks like. Football reveals character. These things, these coaches decide which character traits their programs are going to reward. And again, like, while Fayetteville won the game last night in a lot of important ways, North won. North set the better example. So the Gators should be proud of keeping their composure. Work on the layer of mental toughness. You can't control the culture of the other sideline. You can only make sure that theirs does not control or change yours, right? Now, that conversation right there was more about the coaches and the culture that we can establish. But coaches are not the only adults influencing young athletes. Parents establish culture too. And after the game, I packed everything up and made my way down to the sideline and saw an example of how parents can maybe unintentionally undermine the very lessons that coaches are trying to teach. North had just lost 42-6, and the players are gathered around on the field, and their coaches are having their post-game talk. You know, Chewy, how they do. And anybody who has been a part of any kind of sport, especially football, understands what that moment is. The coaches review what happened. They acknowledge what went well, where things went wrong. They remind players of what the standard is. They talk about what comes next, getting back to work. They do the Lord's Prayer. It's team time. This is team time. This is, you're coming out of battle, basically. It's a big exhale. The post-game huddle belongs to the team. Let me say that again. Parents, the post-game huddle belongs to the team, which is comprised of coaches and players. And while parents often make their way down to the field after the games, which is normal, especially at the middle school age, you want to see your child, you want to encourage them, that's fine. You want to be physically close to the huddle. But being physically close to the huddle does not make you a part of the team. Doesn't make you a part of the coaching staff. And last night, one of North's coaches was speaking honestly to the team. And he told them, Chewy, we got outplayed last night, or got outplayed tonight. We got to get back to work. We got to improve. And this is an entirely reasonable and accurate representation of what just happened after a 42-6 drubbing at the hands of the other team. And a parent interjected, and in fact, I saw multiple parents during the team huddle speak up and say something and interrupt the team huddle. But specifically, a parent said, you guys didn't get outplayed. You didn't get outplayed. Yes, they did. They lost by 36 points. It doesn't mean that they're bad kids. It doesn't mean that they're not talented. It does not mean that they did not play hard. It does not replace the physical plays that they made, but they were outplayed. The scoreboard is not a personal attack on your child. It is information. And if we cannot acknowledge the reality of the situation, we cannot improve upon it. That is literally accountability. And love for these children does not require lying to them. I get it. As a parent, I get it. It's understandable to want to protect your child. And you see your son in this situation, disappointed, embarrassed, frustrated. And your instinct is to make those feelings, make that pain disappear. You want to protect them. But love does not require lying to them. Sometimes the loving response is saying, yeah, y'all got beat. That was a difficult night. Your coach is right. Now, what are you going to do about it? That's not cruelty. That is preparing your child for the reality of the world. Because one day, your son is going to be outmatched somewhere other than the football field. He's going to have a job. Somebody else is going to receive the promotion ahead of him. A relationship might end. His business might fail. Maybe he makes a serious mistake. And nobody is going to be there to bail him out and tell him, no, you didn't, sweetie. You did fine. Sometimes the healthiest thing that a kid can hear is that you did not do well enough today. Not because his value is not high enough, but because he has room to improve. His performance has room to improve. My son loves to ask me how he did when he knows he did well, because he wants to hear me, the kids say, glaze him. Jack, loves, how'd you think I did? How'd you think I did? But he and I had a tough conversation one day because he thought he did tremendous. And I told him, well, you did pretty good. But then I rattled off every single play that he screwed up on. And the reality of the situation hit him. And he was upset because he felt like he would never be good enough. And I had to have a discussion with him and explain to him that's not the case. You're always good enough. As my son, you're always good enough. But you love football and you want to get better, right? Are those two things true? Yes. He loves football, he said, and he wants to get better. Do you want me to help you get better? Yes. Okay. Then if you want me to help you get better, then you have to agree to allow me to point out opportunities and areas where you can get better. And I'm not going to do it in a cruel way. I'm not going to be mean about it. But if I make you aware of these moments, these opportunities, then you can address them. If I just tell you how great you are all the time, then you won't know where you can improve and how you can continue to improve. Yeah, last year, my son was probably the best player in the entire league that he played in. And every game, after every game, I told him where he came up short and how he could get better. And because I set that precedence in his mind, because I laid that standard in his mind, he absorbed it, he ate it up, and he continued to improve as the season wore on. The last game of the year, he had 7 tackles for loss, 3 sacks, and 18 tackles or something stupid. And after the game, I told him about the 2 or 3 plays. You lost contain on this one. Remember, attack the outside hip. Attack the outside shoulder. Don't let that guy get to the edge. Sometimes the healthiest thing for a kid to hear is you did not do well enough to change. Failure is information. Got beat 42-6. Fayetteville's speed created problems for us. There were moments where, maybe we should have called a different play. Maybe somebody missed assignment. Maybe we didn't get lined up right. Maybe the emotional atmosphere affected us. Maybe we need to improve and get mentally tougher, physically tougher up front. I don't know what the coaching staff, what Coach Landon Relford and his staff is going to lean into, those lessons. They're going to watch film, but that information that they're going to pull is valuable, and how they apply it is valuable to them building these men, not just as football players, but as young men. If you immediately go to your kid and say, well, your coaches didn't do a good enough job, you were just as good, sweetie. The referees cost you. The other team was mean. You should have played more. You'd have won if you played. Your child is going to learn to reject the information that makes him uncomfortable and allows him to improve in life, and that is dangerous. Every failure belonging to somebody else is part of the reason why the world is the way that it is right now. And I saw it happen in real time yesterday and was absolutely shocked to my core. Because the failure belongs to somebody else, right? It's the coach's fault, the referee's fault, the teammate's fault, the weather's fault, the heat's fault, the opponent's fault, the system's fault, the other coach's fault, everybody else. And accountability dies. But the worst part, outside of the fact that the accountability wasn't there was that the young men had their view of the coaching staff undermined. The guys that are out there trying to teach these lessons on a daily basis. A coach says something, and a parent undermines that coach. Right there in front of the entire team. And as a parent, if you have got a problem with something that another adult, specifically a coach or a teacher, says to your kid in an effort to make them better, if you don't agree with them, there is a proper place and time and method. And it's not interrupting a post-game huddle and contradicting the coach. Think about the message that sends to the other players, to the other parents, to the coaches. And that's part of the problem with really like the school as a whole right now takes all this heat. The school district takes all of this heat for what they do and how they teach and what they tell the kids and this, that, and the other thing. And you've got parents that are undermining them at every corner, every opportunity. And I'm not saying that everything a coach says or everything that a teacher says is law, is correct. Of course a kid wants to be comforted after getting their brains beat in for 4 quarters. But your coach cannot maintain authority over a team if you're publicly undercutting them every opportunity you get. You're not surrendering your role as a parent. You can still be their number one advocate. You don't stop being the person that they rely on, that it's still your responsibility to protect them. If something unsafe actually happens, yeah, you intervene. If there's legitimate abuse, don't stay silent. But when you sign this kid up for public school and to be a part of the football team, you're telling the coaches and the teachers, you're telling them, teach my son, correct him, hold him accountable, make sure he's there on time, make sure he does his work. Tell him when his effort is acceptable or unacceptable. How do you expect coaches to build accountability while protecting your kid from every moment of accountability? And a post-game huddle from the team is not a city town hall. It's not a town hall meeting. It's not an open forum. This is not a Facebook comment section. You don't have a say. Let the coaches finish. Let the team pray. Let the players hear a unified, clear message from their coaches. Then take your kid home, talk with them privately, ask them what happened, how it made them feel, and you can disagree with something that a coach said. I encourage you to sleep on it, and then maybe if you still have a problem, call the coach the next day and have a respectful conversation away from the players about it. That's how adults resolve disagreements without damaging the children. And that does not happen enough. It doesn't happen enough when it comes to school. It doesn't happen enough when it comes to these teams. Let it breathe. All right, I'm going to take a breath. We'll be back for hour number 2. This is the starting lineup. You're listening to ESPN Radio, 1340, 1069 WCDT Winchester.
No two patients are alike. High Point Health with Ascension St. Thomas delivers care centered around your health, your goals, your story, your recovery. From routine checkups to critical procedures, we use today's medical technology and advanced clinical practices to help you feel better, recover faster, and return home to the community you love. We don't just specialize in care, we specialize in you. Learn more at highpointhealthsystem.com. .
Got a project to tackle or a party to plan? Skip the stress and rent it instead at Reliable Rental in Winchester. From tools and heavy-duty machines to chairs, tables, and event essentials, they've got what you need to get the job done right. Whether it's work or a weekend celebration, Reliable Rental makes it easy. Stop by 2433 Deckard Boulevard in Winchester or check out everything they offer online at reliablerentalfc.com. Reliable Rental. When you need it, they've got it.
Looking for a reliable car at an affordable price? Stop by Money Down Motors here in Deckard. We specialize in quality pre-owned vehicles with low
The
down payments
Vols play
and
here.
flexible financing
WCDT,
options. No matter your
1340
credit
AM,
history, drive away today with a car you'll love.
WT95AV, 1069 FM.
Visit us at 1945 Deckard Boulevard or call 931-962.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN Radio Winchester studio, it's the starting lineup. Now, here are your hosts, Joe Abraham and Chewy.
Back here. Easy there, killer. What are you doing over there?
Trying to untangle these headphones.
Back here on the starting lineup, ESPN Radio 1340 1069 WCDT Winchester.
I had some responses here in the comment section. Andrew jumped in this morning.
Good morning, Andrew.
Brett Crabtree says, coddling kids these days is part of the problem. Alice Power says, we're going to have to pass the offer plate this morning. Joe's preaching. Brett Crabtree also jumped back in and says, let the team and the coaches do their thing, and parents meet your kids at the fence when they leave the playing field, no matter what sport.
Yeah, which I appreciate and can understand at the middle school level. I've seen this at different schools, and it changes when they get to high school. They respect that space a little bit more. But, you know, it may be a situation where, and you know, I'm not going to speak for Coach Landon and his staff and stuff like that, but what they have allowed with the parents coming up and being a part of that huddle is a privilege, not necessarily a right.
All right, y'all ready to jump into this Deckard call?
Yeah, let's get Deckard in here. Do you have batteries in your headphones?
Good morning, Deckard.
Good morning, WCDT.
How are you guys this morning?
We are fantastic on our first Friday of the year. How are you guys?
Oh, we're pretty good. I hope y'all had a good first week, and I say let's end this week with a really, really good pledge this morning.
Absolutely. It is our last day with Miss Jackson's class, and they're going to give you their best pledge of the week.
All right, let's hear it.
Good morning, Franklin County, on this first Friday. Please join Deckard Elementary as we
stand, salute, and pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
That was a fantastic pledge, guys. Thank you so much.
Was it not? That was amazing. All right, who's got a fun fact this morning? All right, come on up. Tell them your name.
My name is Alex, and I have a fun fact. The average person blinks 14 to 17 times per minute.
Oh, wow. Okay. I did not know that.
I know. I'm going to start counting and fact check that.
I know. It's. I'm consciously blinking. Thanks, Deckard.
Right.
Well, thank you so much for that fun fact. Wonderful pledge this morning. Y'all have a wonderful weekend, okay?
Thank you. You guys too.
See ya.
Bye.
14 to 17 times a minute.
Now I'm thinking about blinking. You ever, like, when someone's like, hey, you're breathing right now, you know what I mean? Like, it's like you're like, oh crap, like for the next few minutes you're gonna be conscious.
We got Sammy D in studio with us. Good morning, buddy. How are you?
Good morning, boys.
It's good to see you.
Yeah, glad to be back.
It's it is one of those weird things. It's kind of like, you mentioned it, but like breathing. You ever think about the act of breathing, and then all of a sudden you're like panicking about breathing? Has that thought ever entered your? Do people get afraid of breathing? That's got to be a phobia, right? There's phobias for everything.
I psych myself out sometimes, and I'll be like, man, what if I'm like, am I thinking about pumping my heart? You know?
Next time you eat, think about swallowing,
right,
and watch how hard it becomes.
Yeah, it's really strange.
So what have you been up to? How are things over at the sheriff's department? You look busy over there.
Yeah, everything's just getting going right along. It's back to school time.
Yeah.
So, getting our SROs back. Back in the swing of things, and we had some training for them leading up to them returning to school, and it's business as usual, sir.
Let me ask you a question about the SROs and where they're all placed and things like that, because I saw some comments online about an SRO that was moved from one school to another, and this SRO, in his defense, was so good that the school that he left, all the parents were like up in arms. They took our SRO away from us. And the other school's like, thanks, we love this guy. But how do those decisions get made?
So it's literally Chief Perry will work with folks. You know, if an SRO has a preference, they try and do that. If a school has a preference, they'll try and work with them on that angle. But ultimately, there are situations where SROs have to be moved around, and generally that's a temporary thing. And it's say, for instance, there's an SRO that's on maternity leave.
Okay.
An SRO may have to move over and take that spot.
Right.
So it's no different. It's no different than our patrol deputies. If something happens on one of the shifts, somebody's going to have to move from their shift to cover that opening. I mean, there's it's not that deep to, you know, it's literally it's filling that slot. And I know we're proud that our SROs are so good that the teachers and the students and the parents get attached to them.
They do. They become a part of the culture of the school.
Yeah, and we're proud of that. We really are. And you know, I know the school you're talking about, and I think that school should be proud that their SRO was chosen to go fill in and be the person to fill that slot. And things will be back to normal there, so it's not a
okay. So that in that particular case, it's kind of a temporary situation.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So everybody that's freaking out about the
Alice Davis jumped in this morning saying JJ found his calling in SRO. He was so good when he was mine at Rock Creek. He greeted each child by name and high fives. Listen to that.
Yeah.
Very cool.
No, he's great. You know, there was a similar situation, maybe even a bigger parent revolt when we had an SRO leave Clark. What was that, been a year ago, 2 years ago? That, you know, we deal with this. You know, SROs, they're not assigned by the school system.
Right.
They're assigned by us. And when somebody needs to be moved around to fill a gap, that's what happens. It's just that simple. There's nothing more.
Well, and it goes back to as well, you know, y'all's expertise is from a public safety side of things, and you're going to make moves and do things that have the kids' safety as the number one priority. I mean, that's what they're there for. As a student resource officer, though, you know, one of the things that I'd love to have you talk on is maybe what everybody kind of looks at them and sees them around the school, but what is their like responsibility within the school, after school stuff? Sometimes you see them at football games and other things like that, but I mean, how would you define their responsibilities as we get the school year started?
So that's easy and it's hard. All right. The easy answer to that is it's one word: safety.
Yeah.
Their main responsibility is safety. But what comes with that is so much more. You know, they're not just there for safety. They are there to be role models, develop relationships. Their day starts even before some teachers. A lot of these SROs are there to open the building at 6:45. and they're at a lot of these schools, they're the first one in and the last one out.
Right.
And their day doesn't just stop at the end of the school day. You mentioned after-school events. We have to provide safety at those. So you may have, let's say, for instance, let's take an example of Franklin County High School or Huntland schools. They're there at 6:45. They're there after the school day ends. Let's say the football team has an away game. They're with them to that away game, and they may not get back till 11, 12 o'clock. So their day is essentially an 18-hour day.
Wow.
And if it's a basketball game, they're happening early in the week. Football is kind of unique because it's on Friday.
Right.
But say it's a basketball game. They may get home at 12, be in bed and asleep by 12:30 or 1, and be back at the school the next morning at 6:45.
Yeah.
So they do work long hours during the school year, and
sounds like our hours a little bit there, Chewy.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. When it comes to the game coverage and all that.
Yeah.
But the SROs, they do love that part of it because they get to. Now, keep in mind, I told you it was a really long day, but what else does that mean? That's a lot of hours around the kids.
Yeah.
And they get to develop those relationships even more because of the amount of time they spend around the school, being there early, being there late, getting to know every kid by name.
Right.
So the one-word answer is safety. The multi-word answer is safety, mentor, friend, counselor,
all the things
protector.
that fall underneath that.
Yeah, and we're blessed. We are so blessed. We I think I mentioned this before, but we're now in a spot where I can confidently say it looks like we're going to be able to add another SRO at zero cost to the taxpayers.
That's awesome.
So we're
and you're looking at placing that at the alternative school, right?
That's correct, because currently we've had a rotation where SROs or the SRO supervisor is going through there, pulling from other different spots, and now we have somebody that can be stationed there around the clock, which is that's going to be so vital. And I've spoken, people have approached me about this position, and it needs to be somebody special,
right?
Because it needs to be somebody that can be that disciplinarian, but also be that person to maybe spend a little extra time and pour into those kids a little more.
Right.
Because we already know they're at alternative school.
Yeah.
There's been an issue somewhere, they wouldn't be there.
Right.
So that's going to be a critical position as we look to fill that. We're going to look for a special kind of person to, like I said, keep the discipline, but be able to maybe bridge the gap and be a mentor and turn a kid in the right direction.
Jump into the FMO Facebook feed this morning and let us know, show some love for your school's SRO over there. Now, when you talk about the SROs and the types of relationships, and they've all probably got their own style too, right? Because they've got different personalities and even school cultures are different and things. But do they have conversations about like what works for them or how to connect with kids or how to address certain situations and things like that? Do they kind of get together on some of that stuff?
Sure.
They got like a group chat.
They do have a group chat. But absolutely, the ones that have been around for a long time, they're more than willing to help the newer ones. And there's such a good network between them that if one has a problem that they've never faced, they can reach out and they've got 5 or 6, 7, 8 others that have had this exact situation somewhere through their years,
right,
and help them navigate through it.
Yeah.
And when you've got that much experience that we have in our SROs, there's not much that they haven't seen before.
Yeah. The one that comes to mind for me is Arthur Barad. He's just like his time as an SRO is just legendary. Go down in like the hall of SROs. Do they have a hall of fame for SROs?
They should.
If they don't, they should.
Yeah, they definitely should. No, he's a guy that he's one that a lot of people comes to mind because he's so outgoing.
Right.
But don't let he's forming relationships and he's great at that. This is not a dig at Arthur. But there's other SROs that are maybe a little more quiet they're forming those same relationships,
Right.
just in a different way.
Right.
So we have a vast level of experience, different personalities, and the old saying, it takes all kinds.
Yeah.
So we are so blessed, and we're hoping to add another face and personality to our team, and it's going to be an incredible movement for us, and again, the best part is at no cost to the taxpayers.
Yeah, that's always awesome. I love that. All right, let's get a. I heard the music play. I look up. It's 14 after already. So let's get a break in here. We'll be back on the other side with Sammy D in studio. It is What the Florida Friday, which is I think it's pertinent because it's like 1,000,000 degrees outside today. Florida is just coming up. It's like taking over Tennessee. The heat from down there, the nasty, sticky. You can cut it with a knife type of humidity.
Why do you have a knife over there?
This is my stirring knife, which also goes along with my stirring Sharpie. I stir my pre-workout with these.
Okay, I just thought you put that knife over there just
for that bit.
Yes.
You never know. All right. We'll be back next with more from Sammy D. It is ESPN Radio 1340 1069 WCDT Winchester.
Feeling under the weather? Need a quick checkup or urgent care? Look no further than Complete Express Care in Winchester. Our expert medical team is here to provide fast, reliable care when you need it most. From minor illnesses and injuries to lab tests and x-rays. No appointment necessary. Visit us today at 1211 Dinah Shore Boulevard in Winchester or call us at 931-967-6669. Complete Express Care. Your health, our priority.
Any idea how many hot dogs are consumed? Oh. How many glizzies are gobbled on the 4th of July? Hold my beer and give me that hot dog. It's a good thing that they're not made of real meat. We would run out of animals. I don't know. What are hot dogs even made of? Has anybody figured that out yet? Do you want to know? Slurry? Is that a meat? Not everything that can be done should be done. The glizzy gobbling competition.
I hate it when you call it that, by the way.
Just shoveling
meat rockets in his mouth. I mean, it's foul.
It is the starting lineup.
From the 931 Go Weather Center, it's time for an ESPN Radio Winchester weather update, presented by Pennett's Pharmacy.
Today we've got a 20% chance of showers and thunderstorms rolling in the afternoon. Otherwise, mostly sunny, very warm, 94 degrees with a heat index value at 106. Calm winds coming in at around 5 miles per hour. Stay indoors, stay cool, and stay tuned to ESPN Radio Winchester.
At Bennett's Pharmacy in Winchester, we're more than a pharmacy. We're your partner in health. Conveniently located at 1201 Dinah Shore Boulevard, we're here to serve you with fast, friendly, and personalized service. Need prescriptions filled? Looking for over-the-counter products? We've got you covered. Plus, enjoy local delivery and expert advice from our caring team. Call us today at 931-967-2777 or stop by Bennett's Pharmacy at 1201 Dinah Shore Boulevard today.
All right, back here on a What the Florida Friday. We're going to turn it into a What the Flock Friday. That's close, right? That's too close, probably. Joe Abraham, Chewy, Sammy D. I didn't realize. I
playing with fire this morning.
Listen,
Joe.
I was like, hey, this is a good way to intro this next segment, and then it
was.
came out, and I was like, oh man, it sounds like I just said a really bad word.
When you said that, I was like, oh no, because for that split second, my brain was like, he finally did it on air. He finally did it. All the things that we thought would have happened a year ago, 2 years ago, it finally happened.
Yeah.
So spell the FLOCK.
Yes.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, and to clarify, so we've talked we had kind of a lengthy conversation about these things yesterday, but again, still my understanding of the cameras and of the system is not necessarily correct, and you straightened me out there in the break with that. But I'm very excited for you to kind of dive into this, because there is a lot of misinformation that floats around out there online. But you were telling me that your system that the Franklin County Sheriff's Department uses is not the Flock system necessarily.
That's correct. We use a system called Vigilant, whose parent company is Motorola.
Okay.
And our data is completely separate from Flock's data. We can't see theirs. They can't see ours.
Okay.
It's important for the listeners to know that. And since these cameras, it's not just our sheriff's office, all of the folks across our county and law enforcement have access to it. But when we purchased those, Flock was not a possibility. We couldn't buy Flock.
So these were supplied through a state grant, correct?
Correct.
And what you're telling me is that the state was like, yes, you can buy these ALPRs, automated license plate readers, but it can't be the Flock system.
That's correct. And they didn't tell us why, but now what we've seen with the next-gen cameras from Flock, they may have known. Mm-hmm. And here's, for the folks out there who are kind of been on social media and all they've heard is Flock is bad and no real description of why. It's my understanding that when Flock rolled out their next-gen cameras and started using those, there were some features that law enforcement that was using Flock didn't know. There was some questions about who's got access to their data.
Right.
And as I was telling you in the break, the thing that's great about Vigilant is we control our data. So what that means is third parties don't get a chance to see our data unless we allow them to.
Okay.
And we do not have the ability to allow our data to go to the commercial side. As I was explaining to you, you have commercial data and you have law enforcement data.
So your data is siloed in the law enforcement.
Correct. Now, do we have access to the commercial data?
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Does commercial have access to the law enforcement data? No. And as I was explaining to you, even if a tech needs to come in and work on our system, they can't see it. We have to allow them permission to see that each time.
Wow.
And the way our system works is, if we're Franklin County, and let's just say, Joe, that you're let's just pick let's say you're Grundy County, and you get on the Vigilant system, you have to request permission from us to see our data, and we have to request permission from you to see your data. So this mass just this mass sharing of data and nobody knows where it goes, that may be the case with Flock, but I can tell you that's not what we've experienced here in Franklin County with Vigilant.
So as far as the capabilities of Vigilant and what it actually does, was I correct in saying that it kind of just you put in, maybe if you're looking for certain certain license plates, you put in the data of what you might be looking for, not that you're looking for to track everybody, but you put in specific parameters. Hey, we're looking for this type of car with this type of license plate. You pop it into the system, and if it catches something like that, you get an alert?
Yes, that's one way. Let me be, just to bring this up, and I want to be very clear. Every app you sign up to, you are giving permission to way more information collecting than these cameras can do. Now, some would say, okay, well, I gave permission to do that. I didn't give you permission to photo my license plate. When you enter the roadway, that public roadway, you are giving permission. All right? That being said, that Flock camera doesn't know who I am. It doesn't know who you are.
It doesn't know who's behind the wheel.
Absolutely not. It knows a tag number, 123 ABCD.
Yeah.
That's all it knows.
Doesn't assign guilty or innocent.
Nope. And there are lists. We've talked about this, I think, when we rolled this thing out. NCIC has a list of known tag numbers, right? Whether it be a dangerous fugitive, a silver alert, an
Chewy.
amber alert. Yes, Chewy. All of Chewy's tags are entered into NCIC. No, I'm just kidding. But it's simply looking at tags and referencing against a list. That's it.
Yeah.
Now, the state of Tennessee does have a law that all of those shots of tags can only be held 90 days.
Right.
The Vigilant system is CJIS compliant, which means it's on the same level of rules and implementation and all that as our dispatch system. It's very regulated.
Right.
And we've not had any issues. And the one side is the alert, but the other side, Joe, is the investigations.
Okay.
You can't believe how many cases have been solved off of these cameras.
Give me an example.
Okay.
How's this work?
Sure. So say you live in a neighborhood that's pretty close to a camera, all right? And your house gets broken into. You're not there, but your neighbor says, hey, it was a black SUV it was really weird. They were in Joe's driveway for about 20 minutes, and that time was, say, 1:30. Well, we know that the distance from that neighborhood to the camera should take maybe 2 minutes by car, so we add a couple of minutes to each side of that time frame, and we go back to that camera, and we look for a black SUV. And everyone that comes through there now gives us a possible suspect.
Okay.
And the one that I love the best, and this was actually personally my case. This was before Tullahoma had theirs. We had ours. This was a Manchester case. I had a description of a vehicle and a partial tag. Well, I had our friends at Manchester run that tag in their system, and guess what? Not only did I find the vehicle, all the stolen property was in the bed of the truck in the photo. It's pretty hard to argue with that.
Oh man, that's tremendous. So hold on. So you're telling me that you're not just looking for some random black SUV. You're looking for one that may or may not have been involved in perpetrating a crime.
Absolutely, and you have to log each and every one of those.
So if you've got like a girlfriend and you're trying to check and see where she's going on Friday night, you can't just go in there, sneak in there, and just run it and see.
Absolutely, like every inquiry you make has to be tied to a case number, a reason for the search, all of that. It's the same thing, and I used this earlier. It's the same as dispatch.
Mm-hmm.
You have to keep the same records. If we run a tag there's a record of it. And to be honest, it's so well documented that I can't speak for Flock's system, but Vigilant, it's so well documented. Somebody would be a fool to misuse the system.
Yeah,
because it's all the logs are incredible. Everything you do is logged. Every keystroke, every search,
And what I've seen through looking through I think it was back in April of last year when you guys rolled out the Saint program and the posts and all that. Is that you have basically, if somebody does try and misuse it, you'll prosecute them.
Yes, absolutely.
Now
that's the same thing with, and the folks out there listening. There's a lot of tools, and they all come with the same things. There's different databases that we have access to, and when you use those and sign in, there's you're promising that you're not going to misuse these, and you can be held accountable if you do.
So let me ask you this question, because this goes back to, and we talked about it a little bit yesterday, and I made the statement, it doesn't seem like Franklin County has these cameras all over on every street corner. Like I've seen the maps of New York City, and they're just covered in dots, right? And you can look these programs up and stuff like that. And I wouldn't say it would be smart for us to name where all the locations are within Franklin County, but there's only like a handful of them, right?
Yeah, so we focused our efforts on some of the more traveled routes,
right?
And I'll leave it at that. But yes, you're talking about some of these real areas that are under surveillance. You look at the initiative with NYC to try and put cameras out. You look at Chicago and other cities that did ShotSpotter, and all these different things to try and aid crime. I mean, they're a lot more. They're a lot more of a surveillance state than a few ALPRs around the county.
Right. Well, and Chicago, I mean, it's like a flipping war zone up there sometimes. So, I mean, it's understandable.
Right. Absolutely. And, you know, we understand how great of a tool these are. And as I mentioned earlier, an officer would be just a fool to try and misuse the system because everything is so documented.
Right. Well, and I go back to the responsibility that it takes to carry a firearm and some of the other things. Like, you know, these are public servants that we're trusting and entrusting with our safety and protection and things like that. And if we can't if we can't trust them to do the small things right, how can we trust them really with anything?
Yeah, and I've heard that example used, you know, and that's a perfect example, really. I mean, you trust them with a gun, but you don't trust them to look at a picture of somebody's tag.
Right.
But, you know, the thing I want to get across to folks, and Joe, I think you understand it and Chewy does, and folks close to law enforcement, but maybe, you know, average citizen out there doesn't understand. The ALPRs for us is such a huge advancement in technology. You know, you look back through law enforcement, there's been a handful of things that have really changed the landscape as far as investigation.
Right.
You look at DNA, that was a huge one. This technology, I don't know if it's up there with DNA, but man, it's a huge advancement when it comes to investigations. And then on top of that, just the public safety aspect, you know, to use that Amber Alert we had here.
Right.
That Amber Alert was found as quickly as it was because of ALPRs. So
yeah, we talked about that, and you know, that's what it goes back to is, again, you can cry all you want about invasion of privacy, make whatever argument you want, but again, you know, you're carrying around these things in your pocket, like you said, that capture a lot more information on you, data on you. People wearing the smart watches, they know, you know, everything about you. We got these apps where you put in what you eat, how many calories you intake, what your heart rate is, all this stuff, and yet they're concerned. People are concerned about a tool used in this manner. So
and just to be clear, and the average citizen may not know this, they do not take pictures of people.
Just the license plate and the back of the vehicle, basically.
Correct.
Yeah. All right. I appreciate it. When we come back, it is a What the Florida Friday, so we'll get into that. Is there anything else that you want to get into this morning from a law enforcement, sheriff's department side of things?
No, I think that's I think those two topics we've covered have been
those are strong topics. If you have any questions, you can always feel free to drop them in the chat, and we'll see if Sammy D can answer them. Put them on the spot, that type of thing. But you can go into the FMO Facebook feed and do that. But I really appreciate it. So, again, when we come back on the other side, we'll have some fun. It is a What the Florida Friday. Also, if you have not entered the Big Orange Hat giveaway, head on over to the Facebook page. Jump into that. We're giving away 4 of these hats. Micah and Alan over at Fincham Sports, Chewy, yesterday they heard me talking about how I'm an Alabama fan, not a Tennessee fan, and they were like, come on down here, and I got something special for you, and they hooked me up. If you're an Alabama fan, by the way, I have to go out to my truck and grab it, but they've got some really sweet Alabama gear as well, so it's not just Big Orange.
All right.
Well, I kind of have to say that I knew those hats were coming.
Yeah.
Well, I was down there,
yeah,
and those had just come in, and man, do they look great.
Yeah, they're sharp, I got to say. And Jim Sanders jumped in. He's like, the only thing that's missing is Miami green. He's a big Miami Hurricanes fan.
Yuck.
I don't know. It'd be pretty sharp. But anyway, it is the starting lineup. We'll be back after this on ESPN Radio 1340 1069 WCDT Winchester.
An important foundation repair shouldn't be delayed simply because it wasn't in the family budget. John Davenport Construction offers financing options for qualified home improvement projects, helping homeowners address foundation, waterproofing, and crawl space problems before they become more serious issues. Get an honest evaluation, understand your options, and choose a solution that works for your home and your budget. Visit jdfoundationpro.com to learn more. John Davenport Construction, a strong home starts with a strong foundation. Financing is subject to approval.
This last Shelby previously on the Paul Feinbaum Show.
You know what, Chris? Let me tell you something. Why don't you go catch your breath before commenting on somebody else's? And Packsaw Tuscaloosa Jim Duggan. You shut up, because I could strike you out blindfolded, pitching underhand with both arms tied behind my back.
Okay, why don't we take a break? I'm pretty exhausted.
The Paul Feinbaum Show, weekdays at 3 Eastern on the ESPN app and on the SEC Network.
It's time for a local news break from the 931 GO News Center.
Franklin County Schools is making a change to the way families manage student meal accounts for this school year. The district is transitioning from My School Bucks to a new online payment system called School Cafe. Families will use the new system to make meal payments, monitor account balances, review purchase history, and set up low balance alerts. Any money remaining in a student's My School Bucks account from the 2025-2026 school year will automatically transfer to the new School Cafe account. Parents can access the service online through the School Cafe website or download the School Cafe Family Hub app for mobile devices. Families who need assistance setting up an account or have questions about the transition are encouraged to contact the Franklin County School Nutrition Department. And as those first day of school pictures continue filling social media feeds, cybersecurity experts are reminding parents to take a closer look at what information they're sharing. Popular back-to-school photos often include signs listing a child's name, age, grade, school, teacher, or other personal details. While those posts are intended to celebrate the start of a new school year, experts warn that combining several pieces of information can potentially give scammers enough data to target a child's identity. Because children typically aren't monitoring their credit identity theft involving a minor can sometimes go undetected for years. Parents should also pay attention to what's visible in the background of photographs. House numbers, street signs, school bus numbers, uniforms, and other details could unintentionally reveal where a child lives or attends school. Families are encouraged to review their social media privacy settings, limit the personal information included in public posts, and remember that even content shared with a limited audience can potentially be saved or shared by someone else. For details on these stories and more, visit 931go.com. Stay informed and stay connected to your community with ESPN Radio Winchester.
When it comes to caring for your loved ones, choose a name you can trust. Inhabit Home Health in Winchester, located at 2068 Cowan Highway. We're here to provide compassionate professional care right in the comfort of your own home. From skilled nursing to therapy services, our team is dedicated to helping you or your loved ones achieve the best quality of life. Call Inhabit Home Health today at 931-967-0633 to learn more about our personalized care plans.
This segment of the starting lineup is brought to you by the Furniture Merchandise Outlet in Tullahoma. Tune into the starting lineup with the FMO Facebook feed every weekday. Now, back to Joe and Chewy.
Oh, man, back here on the starting lineup, ESPN Radio, 1340, 1069 WCDT, Winchester. Joe Abraham, Chewy, and Sammy D in studio with us.
So Alice Davis jumped in the chat saying, hey, quit advertising that. Me and Brett are going to win those. Talking about your orange hats up here.
Yeah.
Brett Crabtree agreed with Sam Davidson saying that color would be gross. And
like
then,
mine? Look, ladies and gentlemen.
That is pretty snazzy.
People, I turned it around backwards because I don't want people to throw things at their computer and break them. But yeah, it does have the A on it. But if you like the way, well, if you don't like the way that this one looks, but you like it in Big Orange.
So let me tell everybody.
They have the Tennessee ones.
That style, they have the Tennessee hat in that style, and it is the slickest Tennessee hat I've ever seen.
Yeah.
You can get those down there at Allen's store in Huntland.
It's sharp.
Brett Crabtree jumped back in saying, people throw a fit when I win and holler favoritism, but I put in the hours.
He does.
He does.
In Brett's defense, he puts in the work.
He does.
And that's what it's about. You got to be like Brett. What can I say? Have you seen that hawk that we've got out back?
Chewy showed me, I think, one day.
Yeah, there's a
Is that
hawk
right?
that
Chewy
lives up on a
didn't go
tower.
out there and-
Yeah.
I
He ate a crow the other day.
Oh,
Or, well,
well.
he killed a crow. I don't know if he ate it.
I call him, he's got a new name. He's Tua the Hawk. It's pretty good, right? Do you, listen, Deckard has changed the way that they do things. And while I do appreciate the fact of the day, what was today's fact? We learned you blink
14 to 17 times
a minute. While I do appreciate that, we need to work in the joke of the day. Do you have any jokes over there?
You know, I'm a huge fan of the dad jokes. So it's back to school time. I think I got a couple I can throw at you.
Okay.
All right. What's the best place to grow flowers in a school?
The best place to grow flowers in a school?
I don't know.
Don't know.
In kindergarten.
Okay. That was a cute one.
It's terrible, right?
That one,
that
I
was
feel
really
like
bad.
I feel like we should have got that one.
Yeah.
I gave you the easy one first. So why did the egg get thrown out of class?
Why?
Because it kept telling yolks.
Oh, okay. All right. Now we're just being silly. Like
This is terrible, right?
All right.
It's really bad.
And that, folks,
Did you
is
get
what
these-
you can expect from me every Friday moving forward. I will be bringing you the worst dad jokes of all time.
It's really bad.
And I forgot to ask Presley for a joke this morning.
Yeah.
That was my fault.
Well, that's why those were so bad, because they came from you rather than from Presley. All right.
Telling yolks. You get it, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I get it. Okay, I do have some Florida man content.
Okay.
I don't know how good these are going to be, but we're going to throw them out there anyway.
What's the format? What are we doing?
Traditional.
Oh,
okay.
traditional.
Oh, okay.
So for people who are wondering what traditional is, welcome to the show. I'm glad it's your first time. We've been doing this for quite a while. We have been on a little bit of a hiatus. We've taken a Florida man break.
That's right.
But what we've got here is 6 headlines, 6 Florida man headlines. 3 of them are true, 3 of them are fake. The guys have to identify which are true and which are fake. Now, I will be honest, I did incur the assistance of AI to help me track these down and to help me create the fake ones on this one. This is my first time reading them. This might be interesting.
Okay.
Oh, no.
All right, here we go.
Normally I try and manually pull these together. Every once in a while I'll use the AI, but usually when I do it, it turns out bad. All right, so.
But sometimes, they may get difficult when you do it this way because,
sometimes, yeah.
This. All right, Chewy, you're going down.
Number 1, Florida man arrested after releasing his pet raccoon inside a DMV to, quote, hold his place in line.
Okay.
This is interesting because we've recently had the conversation about the state of Tennessee eliminating the $150 permitting fee to own a raccoon, and I desperately want one. I don't know what raccoons eat. Trash? Do I just give the raccoon my leftovers?
Like goldfish?
No, I think you
Dog
give them some
food?
sort of food.
Cat
similar
food.
Like
Cat food?
Cat food.
Yeah.
I want a raccoon so freaking bad. It's unhealthy. I don't know why I want a raccoon. I don't know how to acquire a raccoon.
They're too smart, dude. And they've got those little creepy hands with the thumbs, so they can get into trouble.
You know what, though? Rednecks have a like this ability to somehow capture them. I am employing all my redneck friends. If you can help me catch a raccoon, I give you $5.
I don't think that's the route you want to go, Joe.
No?
No, there's people that sell raccoons.
I don't want it to be an older raccoon. I'd like it to be
You want a baby raccoon.
I want it to be a young raccoon that I can train and raise up.
They sell them that are a little more domesticated.
Yeah,
Like
that's
their
what I want.
parents are a little more domesticated.
Yeah, I need one of those raccoons.
What would you name it?
Chewy 2.
Chewy.
Also,
better Chewy.
better Chewy. Also, the purpose of this is, yes, to save pizza gift cards and, have him run he can produce a show.
Yeah, he can run the board.
I think it's a simple enough job.
For the
I've had a trained ape do it for the last 2 years.
I think I don't know. If I had one, I think I'd have to name the raccoon Rocket.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's the name you have
That's
to
a
use.
good name. All right, number 2. Florida man found asleep in the bathroom of a JetBlue plane during a maintenance inspection after allegedly climbing into a secured airport area. That one sounds real. Number 3, Florida man accused of entering his neighbor's home, throwing dog feces at him, and threatening him. Do you guys have any guesses on his weapon of choice? I love
an alligator.
I love asking drug of choice or weapon of choice.
Yeah.
Threatening him with.
Let's go. Gosh, there's so many right answers here. Let's go alligator. It's always got to be an alligator.
Yeah.
Do you remember that story a while back about that old lady with the bat? Peow! Peow! I'm going with a blunt instrument between a bat and a shovel.
Would a scooter fall in that category?
A scooter.
A scooter. Yeah.
So is this like a older person and it was one of those mobility scooters?
Or is this a razor scooter?
Yeah, are they swinging a razor?
Swinging it around. Those things rotate, right? 360 degree.
You better watch your ankles, son.
Just got no scoped by the razor.
Nobody's going to get that.
We all knew exactly what you were saying.
Oh, my God.
All right, number 4. Florida man uses leaf blower to chase an alligator off miniature golf course, then demands a refund for his interrupted round. I mean, he should get his round comped, right?
Again, that just seems like a
Tuesday
morning.
Right.
I mean, if you're going to play golf in Florida, there's going to be gators,
Right. You just came out of like the
I got a lot of questions
the
about
moat,
this,
but
boys. Like, why is this guy out there playing putt-putt with a leaf blower?
Yeah, that does seem like cheating.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's like, oh, my ball's not, just use the leaf blower to blow it. Maybe that's the strategy. I don't know.
Guys, I'm trying to get away. I'm trying to get this alligator to get out of here. All right? Don't mind me or where the ball's at. All right?
I feel like that's going to incur a new, no leaf blowers sign allowed at the course.
You have to rent ours. You can't bring it from home.
Yeah. Again, did he chase the alligator back into, Cinderella's the moat around Cinderella's castle? Number 5, Florida man accused of driving a stolen riding lawnmower through a Taco Bell drive-thru after employees refused to serve him at the walk-up window.
Absolutely. That's definitely true. I'm not even going to contemplate that one.
Yeah.
Stolen
Yes.
riding lawnmower.
Yes.
That's kind of what nailed it in the coffin. Like that's 100% true.
And number 6, Florida man arrested for driving 110 miles an hour in a 60 mile per hour zone. Said that he was rushing to catch his cheating girlfriend.
These are difficult, Joe.
Yeah. After the first one or second one with the airplane, I was like, oh man, that one's got to be true, right? But now reading the rest of these, they could all be true. I'm not convinced on the raccoon one.
Yeah.
That seems a little... I'm skeptical of that one. All right, let's get a quick break in here. When we come back, we'll do the results It is the starting lineup. This is ESPN Radio 1340 1069 WCDT Winchester.
Why choose More Courtney Funeral Home? Well, they're a fifth-generation funeral home taking care of the people of Franklin County since 1905. They're committed to serving you, dedicated to providing personalized, professional, compassionate service to help lighten your burden and help you out during these difficult times. More Courtney Funeral Home, 300 First Avenue Northwest in Winchester, 967-2222. More Courtney Funeral Home.
Got a project to tackle or a party to plan? Skip the stress and rent it instead at Reliable Rental in Winchester. From tools and heavy-duty machines to chairs, tables, and event essentials, they've got what you need to get the job done right. Whether it's work or a weekend celebration, Reliable Rental makes it easy. Stop by 2433 Deckard Boulevard in Winchester or check out everything they offer online at reliablerentalfc.com. Reliable Rental. When you need it, they've got it.
If your life depended on the mission succeeding, what would you care about? Would you care about the demographics of the crew? The moon does not care about your politics, doesn't care about your hashtags. It does not care about where you lie on social media arguments. It doesn't care whether you're male or female or black or white or rich or poor or conservative or liberal or religious or atheist or anything else, because reality does not negotiate. It just is. You can disagree with the facts, but they don't care about your feelings. It is a starting lineup. Thank you for tuning in. This is ESPN Radio Winchester.
The future of healthcare starts here. The Southern Tennessee Regional Health System, Winchester and Suwannee, are joining the High Point Health System with Ascension St. Thomas, a health network serving communities across the state. We're working together to expand access, improve clinical quality, and keep you close to home throughout your care journey. Your favorite providers aren't going anywhere. It's the same care you know and trust, now with a new name, High Point Health with Ascension St. Thomas. Learn more at highpointhealthsystem.com.
Looking to make a difference in Franklin County? The Franklin County Prevention Coalition works every day to build a safer, healthier community, free from substance misuse. Through education, outreach, and strong local partnerships, they empower parents, schools, and leaders to prevent addiction and support positive choices. From youth programs to community events, the coalition is here for you. Learn more or get involved today at fcpctn.org. Together, we prevent.
This project is funded under a grant contract with the State of Tennessee Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services.
Go another round. Back to the starting lineup. This is ESPN Radio Winchester.
All right, gentlemen.
Alice learned us something.
Yeah?
So, having a pet raccoon is legal, but going and snatching a wild one is not per Tennessee law.
Dang it.
So there's that.
Makes it
so you have to
10
get,
times, at least 10 times harder now.
Yeah, you got to get it through like legit means.
See, I told you. You want one that's more domesticated anyway.
I do, but I have a feeling. You think they'd trade a raccoon? You could advertise like Jim Bob's Raccoon
Emporium. Come on down to Jim Bob's Raccoon Emporium.
Oh my gosh!
Oh my gosh, that's the funniest.
Jeez.
Oh.
Raccoon Emporium, dude. That's a hell of a business model, dude. You got to self-fund that. You can't go to the bank for a loan for that, you know?
That's right.
Do they like
All
ship
your
them
raccoon
via
needs.
Amazon?
See poke holes in the boxes to make sure. No, we'll put it in the mailbox now. I'm not going all the way up that driveway.
You could ship them all over the country.
Yeah, sure. Good Lord.
You know, they do ship dogs all over. Did you know that?
Yeah, I've seen that.
Where do you get a license to become Jim Bob, though? Because that's the job now that I want.
You want to be a raccoon broker.
Oh, black market raccoon broker. The Raccoon Emporium coming to a city near you.
There you go. All right.
All right, number one. So the first one was Florida man arrested after releasing his pet raccoon inside the DMV to, quote, hold his place in line.
I said this one was false.
Also false.
It may become real because of the, these looser restrictions that we've got on raccoon ownership. But yes, to this point, it is false. Number two, Raccoon Emporium. Florida, I don't want to move on from that one because it's so funny. Number two, Florida man found asleep in the bathroom of a JetBlue airplane. Is JetBlue still fly? During the maintenance inspection after he allegedly climbed into a secured airport area. This does not sound like he fell asleep in the plane, like, before it landed.
Yeah, that's
very specific.
Yeah.
That's why I think it's actually true.
See, this one could be. AI gets a little weird. Sometimes it's too specific when it's trying to sell the lie. But I've got this one as false because I hope another one's true.
This one's real.
Oh.
Authorities say a 32-year-old man climbed into a secure area near Fort Lauderdale's airport, boarded a JetBlue Airbus undergoing maintenance, and hid in the lavatory. How come on airplanes they're called lavatories, but in real-world scenarios they're just called, like, bathrooms?
I have no idea.
Or at least in America.
What
do they call them in Europe? The loo?
The loo.
Yeah. Brett Crabtree said, hey, having a raccoon is like having a dog, cat, and toddler all in one. That sounds
terrible.
Like the worst. So you go ahead, Joey Ram.
Okay, hold on. Brett, have you ever owned a raccoon? I'm just saying.
Well, maybe.
Unless you're speaking from experience, Brett.
Alice,
don't kill my dream. Don't poo-poo on my dream.
Alice jumped in saying, I want one too. I mean, 3 dogs, a cat, and a teenager isn't enough chaos. Golly. Like, could you imagine adding a raccoon in that mix?
I want a raccoon that I can train to ride Rosie around.
That'd be terrible.
So apparently the disruption cost the man $2,400.
Good God.
That's an expensive... Oh, he didn't even fly.
No.
That's an expensive hotel stay.
I was about to say. So the cost of a nap nowadays, huh?
JetBlue has apparently introduced a new ticket category. It's below basic economy. You don't get a seat. You got to sleep next to the toilet water. Number 3. Florida man accused of entering his neighbor's home, throwing dog feces at him, and threatening him with a scooter.
I'll go first on this one. Chewy, I want this one to be true. Well, essentially, the second and the third one. That's what I said. Is like, I hope that one's false, so this one's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also desperately want this one to be true.
Well, you guys have, what is it? Not manufactured it, but you've
manifested
it. It is true.
Yeah!
A Leesburg man allegedly entered his neighbor's home during an argument over uncollected dog poo, threw the feces at the neighbor, and later raised a scooter over his head during the confrontation. He faces several charges. Most people put dog poop in a bag. This guy somehow used it as a projectile and found a way to use a scooter as a deadly weapon.
Yeah.
That's a long day's work.
That's peak Florida man right there.
I'm doing some work over here. I'm kind of multitasking. I have found out that Jim Bob's Raccoon Emporium.com is available.
Oh my gosh. I'm working on the logo now.
Yeah.
This guy, though, took a crappy situation with his neighbor and somehow made it crappier. All right. Number 4. Florida man uses leaf blower to chase an alligator off a miniature golf course, then demands a refund for his interrupted round.
This feels a little too real. So I said false, but I would not be shocked if I'm wrong about that one.
I also have that one as false.
It is fake, which is interesting because it feels like just a regular Tuesday down there in Florida. This has had to happen, right?
Right.
Yeah, somewhere there's a maintenance guy.
That's like his job.
Putt-putt course where he's blowing the leaves off, and then, their pet alligator Jim Bob is up there on one of the holes, and he
captures them and he takes them over to Jim Bob's Alligator Emporium.
That's right.
Brett Crouchy says those dang scooter syndicate guys.
Never trust a man with a scooter. The alligator was removed from the course. He didn't maintain a pace of play. All right. Number 5, Florida man accused of driving a stolen riding lawnmower through a Taco Bell drive-thru. Because what other restaurant would it be, right? After employees refused to serve him at the drive-thru window. It calls it a walk-up window, but it's a drive-thru window.
That's totally true.
That's 1,000% true.
In this case, it's fake.
No! What?
Yeah, which I am with you guys. It's absolutely believable that this has happened not just once.
That hasn't happened. That's happened in Deckard. Like,
Right.
what are we talking about?
Well, as far as this reference is concerned, it's fake. Which means that the last one, number 6, Florida man arrested for driving 110 miles an hour in a 60-mile-an-hour zone, said that he was rushing to catch his girlfriend cheating. That one is real. DeSoto County deputies reportedly clocked the driver at 110 in a 60. The man said he was headed towards his girlfriend's home because he believed she was cheating and reportedly expected her to bail him. And reportedly he expected her to bail him out afterward. He never caught his girlfriend, but he did catch a criminal charge.
Oh. Hey, Alice said that we need to talk to her friend Candace on the show with her raccoon. Okay.
Candace has a raccoon?
There you go.
Yeah, we do.
Dude,
I wonder
you're a
if we
little too hyped for this. Like
can we get Candace to bring the raccoon? I want to shake hands.
You want to
with the raccoon?
Do an interview with the raccoon?
I do.
You're like, okay, so how articulate are your fingers? Like, can you push buttons?
Plank.
Do you have headphones that that fit your little head?
Yeah. Do you want some earbuds?
Custom made. Yeah, I'll get the raccoon some in-ear monitors.
Yeah.
Chewy doesn't get them, but the raccoon does.
Well, Alice says that it's adorable, so who knows? That would be a cool episode.
That would be tremendous. Alice, help me get that done. That's my new goal in life. Forget trying to get the North-South game. Like the Battle of the Boulevard
we gotta
or the
get this
bypass
raccoon situation.
Yeah,
under
that can take a
control.
back seat to this whole raccoon. All right, coming up next, it is Reliable Rentals Swap and Shop. Stay tuned for that.
I found you some raccoons.
Yeah?
Yes, and they are expensive, sir.
That's what I thought. See, you got these guys controlling the market.
Look at this cute little.
We got the Emporium.
We
need to get this. That's awesome. We got to get the Emporium going.
The deposit's $850.
Raccoon ownership should be affordable for everyone. Okay,
that's Jim Bob's. That's his motto.
Yeah,
these raccoons are for the people.
That's right.
Jeez, Sammy D, thank you for stopping by this morning. Appreciate you as always. Chewy, good. Good.
That is so rude. Hey.
It is the starting lineup. This is ESPN Radio 1340 1069 WCDT Winchester.